Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am so glad to be here. And I just see the notices popped, so thank you. And everyone who is watching or watching the playback, please welcome Brian, the Blushing Nerd Tarot.
Hey, everybody.
So, hey, so I like your hat. It's
Thank you.
very blushing fool-ish.
Yeah, I tried to find a feather that maybe had some stripes on it or a little more, but in the end I couldn't resist the color and it went so well with the purple hat. I thought this is the one. So
It's great. And what's the little the button,
the pin is one
the
of the
pin?
enamel pins from Madame Clara from Madame Clara's shop. And I believe you're an acquaintance of, is it Rick?
Yes.
So there's a bit of a story there because, okay, so anyway, I have the pin because I love the products. Pretty much everything in the motel gift shop store on
Hmm.
Etsy is amazing. And I believe the actual physical store is in New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I used to live not too far from there and loved New Hope because it's just an amazing cultural community in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It's gorgeous. It's right on the Delaware River. There's outdoor eating and all that kind of stuff. It's just fabulous. So,
That's
so
great.
yeah, so a little connection there. But then the other fun thing is when I was watching some of your content and you were doing a walkthrough of the Two Penny Oracle.
Hmm.
And I already had the 5-cent tarot at that point and loved it. But I was watching your walkthrough of the Two Penny and I immediately hit order. And you had mentioned at the end of that, exactly. You said, if anybody wants to come on and talk about this deck, reach out to me. And I thought, maybe I should start doing some content and reach out to Gerald. And here we are.
Here we are. Well,
Mhm.
I'm glad you did. And we happened to, you popped in on a live that I did the day you actually started your channel.
Oh, right. When
And
I changed over. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you changed from just Brian to Blushing Nerd Tarot. And by the way, everybody who's watching, links are below. You know what to do. It's free. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. I am the shameless plugger, so you know this, Brian. I
Yeah.
do this. It's like do it.
No,
So
nobody's going to argue.
yeah, nobody here, nobody
That's right.
with me.
That's
So,
right.
but yeah, and I have been enjoying your content.
Thank you.
So that's been great. And I was watching the Madame Clara, and I'm like going, well, he mentioned me. That is hilarious. So, but how about we say hi to some people?
Yeah.
We do have a few people here. We know that there's a lot going on. So
Hmm.
Tarot Stash is here. I'm not sure how that has happened, but okay.
Oh,
Um,
I warp. I have wormholes. So,
do you?
yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Use that power for good. Lisa Stevens, hello. This is Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, Jaime. So, Lori Tries Life. Hello, Lori. And Aspasia Rising, Beth. And by the way, when you start to do lives, because lives are fun, I
Hmm.
will tell you they could be a bit of a challenge because there's so much going on. Um, and I actually have a cheat sheet of people's names so that I
Yes.
could remember them.
I started
So
assembling one.
that's excellent. Amy Smiling Love and Light Oracle is here. Hello, Amy. And I have an email from Amy that we might do some sort of a collaboration.
Ooh.
Kala Lizzie is here, goes by Liz. Um, yeah, I'm busy. Tiny Trinkets and Tarot, Ange is
Hi,
here.
Ange.
Hello. Oh,
Shh.
yeah, Time War. And Ben
Hey,
is
Ben.
here. See, it's a good look. And now I feel like I should be wearing a hat of some sort, but you know.
I pulled a bow tie out for you, Gerald.
Oh, that is awesome. Please, please tell me you have a pocket protector.
No, I don't. It's this vest. I'm wearing a vest and it doesn't have a pocket. So
Okay.
if I did, that I'm keeping that in mind though.
Ben said, I can't stop as it's late. Yes, because there are 6 hours.
Yeah.
6, 5?
5.
Anyhow, it's late. So
yeah.
congratulations on your channel,
Thank you.
Ben says. I need one of the Hermione's time turner thingies. Oh, yes. What were those called? Did you read the Harry Potter books?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And you like them, love them, hate them?
Oh yeah. It's well, so to put it in perspective, we traveled to the UK 3 years ago, and one of our first, we had to make sure that our travels took us to platform 9 3/4, and because there's an official one in, I think it's in Paddington now. Now all the names are getting fuzzy, but anyway, yes, very very important. We went to the official shop there. We took the train up to Scotland, and yeah, and went to the is it called the Elephant House, where the books were all written, in a cafe there. So that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Oh, cool. Cool. And I did see you were drinking something. What are you sipping?
In honor of the Scottish theme, I have some Talisker.
Okay.
And some water.
Very nice. Water is always good too. So, and Ben is 5 hours ahead. I always forget this. So, wow. If people have questions for you, Brian, may they put them in capitals in the chat so
Absolutely.
I can see them?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. And I will have to rely on you for that, so I'm not constantly looking down below me, because I don't have a great setup for having. I need to have the comments right up here, so I don't have to look away so much.
I will pop them up, and your lighting is good and everything like that. Good. So that's wonderful. I also have my I also have my phone to do too. So Anne just said, I've been really enjoying Brian's channel.
Thanks, Ange.
So
much appreciated.
And Amy is a Hufflepuff. Do you know your house?
Yes, I am a Hufflepuff as well. Yep.
Okay.
And I live with 2 Slytherins.
Really?
I do. Yep.
Okay. How's that work out?
Fantastic, as far as I can tell. But maybe that's the Hufflepuff in me.
I love that. And I'm a Ravenclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Much to my former staff members' disagreement. You know, they thought for sure I was a Slytherin. And I'm like, I'm not Slytherin. I'm, and I knew I wasn't Gryffindor. So, and but that's okay. So you, Brian, you started a channel. Oh, okay. So thank you, Ange. And
thank you very much.
And Jackie is here. Hello, Jackie Jacaranda.
Hi, Jackie.
And I think I may have caught everybody. Ben is Gryffindor. Calla Lizzie is Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw. Yep. That's cool. Even better, chocolate covered. Medium Betsy Palmer is here. Hello, Betsy. So lots of that. And Tangi Roman Biscotti is here. They just finished up a live. Yeah. Yes. So yes, this is Tangi.
Yep. Yeah, I knew you had a live, Tangi. So I'm very glad to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, they were on Heather's channel, Indigo Chrysalis Tarot, talking about the Judy Garland. So
right,
it was cool.
Yeah, looking forward to watching that back.
Yes, isn't playback great?
Oh, it's the best, because especially I don't have to stress so much about all the daytime stuff that happens. You know, some of our friends across the pond, or your was it the is help me out here, the bee decks
Journey of the
today.
Sacred Bee.
Yes, those yeah, absolutely, definitely. I caught a little bit of it while I was eating some lunch, but now I can just go back and relax and watch it back. So the
Hmm.
playbacks are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and that was so much fun. I really appreciated Kelly Burton joining, and it was an honor to have Jilly Little Zen Crone and
Hmm.
Sadhana Integrative Healing with Sadhana join me. So I was a bit geeking out, and I had to remember to breathe and to slow down.
Yeah.
Just because it's so exciting, and she has a new deck that's available on Kickstarter for backing
Mhm.
for like another 50 hours or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah. Okay, just catching up in chat. Ben was dressed as a witch, and Tangi was Glinda.
Excellent.
So that was fun. Um, okay, so you decided, maybe I should make some content.
Hmm.
And what were you thinking?
Exactly. Yeah, I've been watching TarotTube for quite a while now, and I think I've always had sort of an interest in making content of some sort, but
Hmm.
it never really gelled or turned into anything specific. And just we have such an amazing community. There's a lot of really good content, and there's also it's tight knit, you know. So it's not like you're not hopping onto channels that have 50,000 subscribers and the chat just gets blown away. You know, you can go on to a live and you can actually have a meaningful conversation with people,
Yes.
and the opinions and the diversity, and it's been inspiring constantly. And
Good.
so I just felt like I wanted to be a part of it. I guess, I, I felt FOMO for decks, but in this case, I felt FOMO for content creation. I just wanted to be a part of it more than I could be by just joining in the chats, which is great, and commenting and everything else is
Hmm.
wonderful. But I wanted to be able to do this sort of thing and interact with all of the people that I've been, loving and enjoying from the sidelines all
Hmm.
this time.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I know people in the chat are. And you know how I said we're up against a lot of things. Right now, we have 20 people who are watching.
Ooh, excellent.
That's
Thank you.
that's really quite good.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
fun.
just wonderful. Um, so you're creating content. I'm going to heap praise in your general direction.
Mm.
So get ready.
Wait,
Get. Oh my God! Look at that, people. Look
I'll hide
at
behind
that.
my. Hey, there we go. See, I can't get a thwarp with this one, but I did order one. It just didn't show up in time, so I've got them
That
in.
is that is great. Oh, including a tiny hand, and I should have actually done something like this. That's
Yeah. Oh,
brilliant.
true. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And and you've watched Ben Ritchie and me,
Yeah,
so it's it adds so much.
it does.
And
And yes, I had fan envy like from the first time it thwarped, and so yeah, I'm anxious for that thing to arrive.
so, Brian, you seem very natural on camera.
Oh, thank you. We have the pandemic to thank for that, because I run a team at work and I'm on camera almost all day. So I
Hmm.
probably never would have felt comfortable in previous years.
Sure. Yeah. I completely understand that. But I'm actually a hardcore extrovert, so
Mm.
um, I had a YouTube channel that was a knitting YouTube channel
Oh yeah.
for it was probably about 12 years or so ago.
Hmm.
And that was when knitting had an extra resurgence, and there
Right.
were a lot of blogs. So I quickly discovered that I would rather talk in front of a camera
Mm.
and upload a video and link it and then watch it and then document the things that I mentioned below. And so that was just
Right.
easier. So video blogging. So let's get caught up. So I see, who am I missing? Okay, I see an Amy. Okay, yeah. Ben, you got Ben's attention with that fan. So, and yay, tiny fans need tiny hands.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
I love that. So yeah, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here.
Thank
Tortoiseshell
you.
Moon, I finally made one of your lives, Brian. I'm really loving your channel and the
Thank you.
content, says
Thank you very
Kathy.
much.
So, that's beautiful.
It
Yay.
is.
See, people want more content.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing.
so I'm going to take a sip so that I can, relax. I thought about making a sangria for this, but I thought I better not. So when okay, you have an Etsy shop and a website, beautifully constructed, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Linked below, people. Go. What do you? This is, and I know this is one of those questions that everybody sort of. I am not really fond of it, but what can people expect when they visit your channel?
Well, it's early days, so you can probably expect some things that I'm trying out, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't really know yet how they're going to go or what is going to be well received or meaningful to people. Um, but what I like to do, and I think what I've enjoyed most so far, um, is just being able to go through some decks and actually try them out. The whole deck test drive thing that I have, um,
Mm-hmm.
just the idea of, and in fact, the other day when I was just Saturday morning going out to get my weekly stash of coffee beans. It's right near a university and it's gorgeous. It's like, all these big old trees and beautiful buildings. So I like to sit down and just, put out some cards, do a reading for myself for just um, just a neat moment to kind of connect.
Mm-hmm.
And so those moments where I can sit down and I can put some cards down, whether it's here or outside or wherever, and just talk through um, how I see them playing together and what the meanings are and what the images are bringing out for me. And so that's sort of what I'm enjoying. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I one of the reasons I wanted to do this is so that I could connect with people, and I'd love to know what would be most meaningful to people, to the audience, to whoever wants to log in
Mm-hmm.
and watch. So again, I'll be experimenting. I don't know. I don't know fully what everyone should think to expect at this point.
And that's cool because this is a process because I started out with two different channels for TarotTube,
Mm,
and one was about lives, and then this one, Tarot Stash, was about doing flip throughs and my deck acquisition.
right.
And it was a challenge to maintain both
That would be.
channels.
Yeah.
And Tarot Stash is just it's a nice place to put things, all of the things. And
Yeah.
I never really intended to start doing deck casuals, but those have been really phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're worth
Agreed.
their weight in gold for me. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, and I think that's great. So, um, Jonathan has been here. He is
Hi,
lurking
Jonathan.
while driving back from Costco. He got new glasses.
Well, hopefully they're doing their job. So, and you're doing the right thing by paying attention to driving. So that's good.
And he said very similar to Brian's, actually.
Oh, very
So
nice.
there you go. Okay. Um, so, and I actually think, Brian, the exploration is really fun
Hmm.
to figure it out. And are you a person who will be looking at like the studio and looking at the statistics about what your channel's doing in the videos? Are you that type of a person?
I think from the nerd in me will be doing that just because I like to see the numbers, and I like the statistics part of it, where are the viewers, what age groups, that sort of thing. I find that to be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
um it's I think maybe that's one way to tell if you've hit the right area of content creation, is to
Mm-hmm.
not be driven by that, and not to um it's not, I mean, I love the subs, because the idea is that that means people do like the content that I'm making, so it makes it feel worthwhile to put the effort out
Yes.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. um but to not be obsessing over that in any way, and to be more excited about just flipping on the camera and making something,
Mm-hmm.
um that's it's that makes it feel more wholesome. And so, yeah, I'll look at the numbers just because they're fun. But yeah, that's probably the extent of it.
Well, but again, like you're a nerd,
Exactly. Certified.
and are you certified?
I
Okay,
am. Yeah.
okay, that's cool. I'm impressed. So,
In multiple jurisdictions.
Regina's Tarot and Wirecraft is here. Regina was one of
Hi,
the
Regina.
first people that I think I started following. So, and um, and she's always lurking and working.
Hmm, I can
So
relate.
yes, oh, of course, of course. Um, and I know for me, like, um, I encourage anybody who wants to create a channel to create a channel, because I am a believer that your voice needs to be heard and someone needs to hear it. They may not be right there when you start making the channel.
Mhm.
And some channels do flip throughs. I haven't done a flip throughs in a while, because I'm enjoying the deck casuals.
Mhm.
Some people do readings, and readings about different things. I really enjoyed the reading that you did as you were working with the Wild Unknown.
Oh yeah, that was fun to do. I enjoyed that too. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. And I am actually looking forward to getting the next deck, the one that will
Yeah.
complete the set for the Wild
Yes.
Unknown. So,
July
and
5th, and I'd really like, I want to put a plug out there because I mentioned it in that video too. I think it'd be really fun to collaborate with 3 other people, and we could each have one of the decks. 4 decks in the set if we have 4 people on a live, and do some readings, maybe.
I think
Just
that could be
just
great
throwing that
fun.
out there.
Yeah, like and subscribe to
Yes.
Brian's channel so that you can get updates, people. Just saying. Um, well, and I think that's a really interesting idea, because I like to who I am on camera is exactly who I am off camera, and then
Mm,
because I know some people, they try to how their it's like TV personalities,
right. Yep.
and I don't have that good of a memory, so I just need to be
Me
who I
neither.
am.
Right.
I'm just like
Right.
going so, but I'm like going, okay, it's just easier for me to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so now you were talking about in um, one of your videos about how you came to tarot.
Mm,
And
yes.
is that was how you tarot? Was that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
three
How I
pat readers?
tarot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you, Tangi. And
Oh, thank you.
okay, so Brian, how and when did you start doing tarot?
And that's Beth.
Yes, that is Beth.
Okay.
Good
I'm
memory,
learning. I'm
dude.
learning. The how was it was basically my neighbor. I we hang out. We're best friends with our neighbors, and we hang out all the time. And Actually, my wife was over at their house on a Saturday morning, and it was summertime, and they're just at the kitchen table, and she was doing some kind of paper craft, and I wandered over with my cup of coffee, and I sat down, and there was a tarot deck there with a book,
Hmm.
and it was one of those moments where you just start to feel a buzz, and it's inexplicable. There's sort of like a sparkle, going on, and you feel like there's extra energy, and it doesn't have a specific target at the moment. But then, sure enough, she pulls out the tarot deck and starts to just kind of talk about it a little bit. She's been
Hmm.
into tarot for most of her life. Her mother has been into tarot her entire life, and I think she passed it down. So I I felt this reverence for the cards that I actually didn't want to pick the deck up. I was afraid to.
Ah. Hmm.
And it was because of that's when I realized that tingle and that energy was coming from that. and
Hmm.
and I wanted to respect it. It wasn't that I was afraid of the deck in any way. I just wanted to respect that and be mindful of just that aura. So anyway, it was within a few minutes. I think I was already digging on my phone, like how do I do this thing? I would need to get into this,
Uh-huh.
um, and that's it. I mean, the rest is history. It's just been pretty much nonstop ever since.
And how long ago was that, did you say?
That was almost exactly a year, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I am not a
Okay.
long timer.
No, but I mean, and there's no judgment with that
Mhm.
because personally, I think, I've been doing tarot over 25 years. It is a lot of times people with a new perspective that come in and will teach me things
Hmm.
because now there are a lot of tarot decks available, which is phenomenal because back in the day, there weren't that many available.
Right.
Beth had asked, which tarot deck was it? And I know you left a comment on your video. What
I
was it?
did. I did. And I can't remember.
Is it Akira Marchetti?
Oh, it is. Um, and oh goodness. Let me see if
And
I can pull it up here real quick.
mine is over there, so I'm not leaving the screen. And so
Yeah, I might be able to get it here. Let me see.
I
Mm,
cannot remember it, but it's one that my high priestess and who I've taken some classes from for tarot recommends it as a good beginner deck.
yeah.
So, um, Ange asked, does she have a channel?
She does not. She doesn't really have any interest in creating content. She's not actually into TarotTube, despite my proddings, and I just not something that she's been interested in. So,
Hmm.
but if she
Okay.
does start, I'll be sure to link her channel from mine and get the word out there.
Yeah. Well, and I am, I think it's just great to be able to, because like one of my best friends, Trixie, she and I studied the Robin Wood Tarot
Oh,
together,
yeah.
and she came on a live with me, and then Jeffrey, we did a live with his voice
Mm,
because he doesn't want to be on camera,
yep.
and I'm like, okay,
Yep.
um, that's awesome. I cannot remember the Kira
Oh,
Marchetti.
Gilded Tarot. I finally found the comment. It's Gilded
Gilded
Tarot.
Tarot.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, um, so how do you take your coffee?
So coffee for me is is a bit of a religion. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on how it's prepared. That determines how I take it. Um, so I used to be in I had a career in emergency services actually before my current career, but I had an injury that
Uh-huh.
took me out. So I had long hours, long shifts um, in stations with terrible, terrible coffee. So,
Mm.
so if I'm in those situations, I usually take cream or some
Mm-hmm.
kind of additional embellishments.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's at its purest form and I do pour over coffee and things like that, then I like it just as it is. I like
Mm-hmm.
black coffee. So
Okay. And are you a dark roast, light roast, medium roast?
I used to be more of a dark roast person, but I like all of it. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can. Yeah, I mean, it's just if it's well prepared, then I like the roaster's expression because if they're a good roaster, then they know how to take that bean to the right level and then call it
Mm-hmm.
done. And sometimes that's a dark roast, sometimes it's medium, sometimes it's light.
I love that. We're French press people here.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And you did, sometimes I never would have thought that there was a difference.
Hmm.
But there is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
There is. I always drink my coffee cold. I am a
Mm,
cold coffee drinker. I have
yeah.
always been a cold coffee person,
Hmm.
and that's all good. So,
Do you
um,
like it iced specifically, or just as it cools and you just drink it when it's on the cold side?
I like it over ice, but
Hmm.
Jeffrey will make the French press in the morning, and he'll pour me one and then put it in the refrigerator
Oh, nice. Yeah.
for me. But I will also do. I used to do cold brew
Hmm.
where I would steep the coffee. They
Yeah.
say 12 to 24 hours. So 48 hours later, I'm deciding to filter it and,
Right. Right.
pour it over ice.
Yeah.
So it just is, it's lovely. Okay.
Hmm.
Amy has a question. Have you done a review of the Supernatural Tarot deck, the one based on the television show? I have it and I think it's pretty cool.
I have not. I actually don't have that deck, but I like the suggestion. So the main character in that show, I believe, was the first boyfriend in the Gilmore Girls show. If anyone's familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't carry over and watch Supernatural, but it's one of those things that's on my list. But I've watched every episode of Gilmore Girls about 15 times, maybe more. So that's a world that I'd like to tap into. So I'll keep that in mind. And I've heard that deck's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have that deck. I know, surprise, a deck that I do not own. So, um, Beth is curious, what decks are you currently working with?
Yes. So I'm actually working a fair amount um, with the new to me but old to everyone else Wild Unknown,
Mm-hmm.
and that family, and then so those are the sort of the new ones that I'm perfect
Yeah.
the pocket. um I'm also working a lot with the Jean Dodal from Artisan Tarot, the Tarot de
Mm-hmm.
Marseille. I've just been loving that deck and the system in general. It just I don't know, that one just reads so smoothly for me. I've really been enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
um and also just for the tactile experience, I've been reading the Corte de Tarocchi a lot.
Ben just got that and he shared that, and maybe we should do a deck casual on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can hear, I mean,
Yes.
just oh, that's just, I mean,
Yep.
amazing stuff. And I love the little birds. I
Mm-hmm.
just I just can't get enough of this deck. So so this is one I've been working with, just almost aesthetically. Um And there are a lot, just a lot of, I've been working with a lot more just because I'm creating content too. It's been pushing me to work with stuff um, for the sake of thinking about content or thinking about what people might like to see. So
Sure. Zane is here, Tarot,
hi,
Taupe,
Zane.
and Witchery. Well, and I think okay, so you've been into tarot for about a year.
Yep.
And you are, I think I read on your channel description, it says reader, collector, and enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are you, how are you approaching the collecting aspect of it?
Good question. So some of it comes from inspiration from watching other content creators and seeing some of their walkthroughs. And I have definitely had experiences where I'm watching a walkthrough and I get to a certain point where I know I'm gonna get it, and I'll hit pause and I'll step away, and then after I get the deck, I'll watch it. I'll watch the rest of it because I like to see how people connect with it.
Yep.
And but it's a lot of it. I've been collecting in two veins actually. So one is that way, just seeing decks come out that inspire me through other people's content. The other way is I really do totally nerd out on the stuff and like the vintage decks. I like I've been grabbing the yellow box rider decks as much as I can. I like the copyright free versions, and trying to get a range of those from the different publishing houses as US games moved around. I don't have a blue box yet or a blushing fool. I have a mini blushing fool. So this one is a blushing fool and it's a mini. So that was an exciting grab. But that's the other vein of my collecting, has been down the vintage path and trying to collect those.
Sure, because that was going to be one of the questions. Do you have a blushing fool? So
I do. Yep. Actually, it's where the image for my logo, #stickers, if anybody wants a sticker. Because when I do a thing, as most people who know me will admit, if I tend to go a little far with so I got a color scheme I liked and I got a logo I liked, so I just sort of started. Next thing you know, I have I mean, it's hard to
and
resist.
this is a judgment-free zone. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Mean,
yep.
I'm like going, it's like I completely get that, and it's a beautiful color scheme, by the way.
Thank you.
So, Beth had a question. Do you read Thoth, Toth, whatever you want to call it?
I don't, not yet. That's not something I've that's not a path I've gone down, because I think it's one that at this point would probably serve as a distraction. So I started out on RWS, and I got to a certain comfort level there, and I found myself looking for a different challenge and wanting to expand, and Marseille just popped into that to fill that slot. And I think the same thing will happen at some point, I would imagine, with Toth, just so that I can, round out the systems and familiarity.
Yes, the Toth is something that is in my queue of things to learn. So it was last year that I started working with the Tarot de Marseille, and that's been very exciting, especially because there are people who are really familiar with it and comfortable with it, and then articulate about how it works, and I'm just like, that works. So Patricia Tyree is here. Hello, Patricia. And Patrice is here.
Hi, Patrice.
Hello. And Beth said, for me, it's Lenormand. So
yeah.
And here, this is a plug, because on Friday on Longman Tarot we are showing We, as in
Ooh,
me, Ben, and Richie, are showing our Lenormand decks.
excellent.
So it's there. So,
That'll be
and
fun.
I took a Lenormand class last year with Kelly Fitzgerald.
Mm,
The Truth in
yep.
Story.
Hmm.
Fascinating. So very enthusiastic and
Mm.
knowledgeable. And she's a person who, what I appreciate about Kelly is she has a lot to say about them, about the systems that she uses and teaches. And sometimes she'll go off on a little tangent, but she immediately comes back and she finishes it up. So it's not left hanging. It's like,
Yep.
I said this because it relates to this and it relates to this.
Close those loops.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Um, Tortoiseshell Moon asked Brian, do you identify with any of the archetypes in tarot? If so, who are you in the tarot?
Yeah, good
Ooh.
question. It's one I've thought about because a lot of people seem to know that very well. Like it just either comes naturally to them, they identify with a specific card, or they take the personality tests and go through that route to land on their match. Um, but if I just think about it kind of loosely, in terms of identification, I would say Page of Cups is one that I always feel not drawn to, but feel a connection with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been told I'm more of a King of Cups, but I just don't know. I guess I don't know. It's a good question. It's one that I'd like to actually sit and explore myself a little bit more because I think that's a really neat meditation to do with the cards too.
And by the way, that could actually be something good to do for a video.
Ah, good point. Yes.
Talk about how that is. And by the way,
No card.
I am a note taker nerd, so I have lots of books and lots of things that So I'm frantically writing comments down. It's like, ooh, that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that's a good one. I think that could be fun. Patrice said, I'm happy to be a subscriber to Brian's
Yes.
channel. It's nice to see your beautiful face, Brian.
Thanks, Patrice. It's been great to
So
have you in the comments in the channel and everything. It's really encouraging because I see you in the chats all the time on the lives and everything. So it's always fun to see familiar faces in the comments.
it really is. It's and I value a lot of the comments and because playback is wonderful,
Mhm.
especially because you can play it at a higher speed.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, Kenneth from Common Hawthorne says he consumes a lot of YouTube at double the speed,
Wow.
and it's like, wow. So it's like Calla Lizzie said, I can't watch YouTube anymore without a notebook and a
Yeah,
pen.
it's true.
So, and yeah, a lot. Calla Lizzie said Lenormand is next. So,
Yeah. I think that's a good point too. Now that'll have to fight its way to the next in queue with with Thoth. So
well, it feels like you would be a person who you would be open to what shows up.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, and they're different systems, and that's what's
Hmm.
fascinating about
Right.
them. So,
Yeah.
um, I love that. So, um, just RWS and Lenormand. I've never been interested in Kipper. Toth is a hard no for me. Okay, hey. Um, I like I was saying, I do like I did really enjoy as you were figuring out the spread
Mm.
and you were doing that. What did you call it? You were a deck test drive, you were calling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea,
Thank you.
and I think I mean it's brilliant because everybody brings a different spin to
Mm.
the content, and what's important to you may not be important to me. But I like watching. I'm a process. I want to know what your process is for
Mm.
you to have decided this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really fascinating. Um, so okay, I'm getting a little geek out there. Do you have okay, so you're reading you're using the Wild Unknown,
Yep.
and you were sharing that. Do you know what your next deck is going to be? Is it like, do you have something on the way, or
Yeah,
other than the alchemy one from the Kim Krans?
right. I do often have on any given day something on the way. Um, time for a hashtag to pop up there. Because
Yeah.
I totally believe in that approach. Purchase responsibly. Yes, exactly. Yes, I often have something on the way. I in some cases have a deck that I purchased, um, and didn't it just didn't get into my rotation right away for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Not that I don't have much of a structure or anything to my rotation, um,
Hmm.
but what I've done in some cases is actually, because now that I'm adding some more oracles to my collection,
Hmm.
I'll I will set out to get the matching oracle, the companion oracle for a tarot deck that I already have, and then that will end up pulling it back in. So one that is going that direction now is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Um,
Oh,
I
yes.
I think that was deck number 2 for me. Um,
Okay.
and and I love I I'm on, I guess I like some collage decks, and it depends, but I love that art. That art is just amazing. Um and but I didn't read with it much. I just never got it out, didn't call to me or anything else. Well, I was at my local esoteric store and they had the Oracle of Mystical Moments, and I thought maybe that's the thing. Maybe I go that route. I'll get that because it's artwork I know I already love, and maybe that'll
Hmm.
bring it out for me. So I think that might be the next one I pull in to, because I just picked that up. So I might give that a try for a little while. And I have other
So,
things coming in the mail too.
yeah. So oracles is something new for you,
Yes.
and how's that working?
It's great. I think initially I struggled with where Oracle might fit in for me, and I think the only reason for that I believe was just um my newness to the whole idea of tarot in general.
Hmm.
I knew I needed to get to a higher level of proficiency and just comfort level in general with being able to turn cards over and have a thought about how it might fit with other things and what it might mean in the first place before I could go into the loosey goosey world of Oracle, which is pretty much you make up your own rules when you're making an Oracle deck. I mean, there are
Uh-huh.
some that follow a tighter system, but for the most part, it's um, everyone you pick up is going to be somewhat unique and has to find its way to fit in.
Yes. Yes. Couple of people who've popped in.
Mm.
Peace, love, tarot. Amethyst Ascension. Hello.
Hello, hello.
And Calla Lizzie said, I love that deck, the Mystical Moments. The Tarot and the Oracle, her artwork on her website is fantastic. I
Yes.
actually know nothing about oracles. Um,
I'm right there with you.
I have some Oracle, and I think one of the first Oracle, I think, may have been the Animal Oracle, the Kim Krans.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it just wasn't until recently. And by the way, I'm slow on the uptake. Um, People mix
This one?
tarot. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, it boggled my mind that people were mixing Oracle and
Yes.
tarot.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm like going,
Right. Yeah.
I'm like going, why did I not think about this? And it's like, oh my gosh. And so I have been open. I have gotten some Oracle decks. I haven't used them a whole lot.
Hmm.
So it's a process. I have a plan for later this year to focus just on oracles
Oh, that's
because
fun.
you can do a tarot spread with oracle cards.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, again, boggle my mind.
Yeah.
Beth asked another question. And by the way, for those of you who are watching, if you have questions, please put the questions for Brian in all caps. Beth asked, do you work with any other elements or tools, e.g., pendulum, crystals, etc.?
I am very intrigued by a broad range of tools, um, but have not strictly worked with any. I have a pendulum. I do have a lot of crystals. I have one of my favorites that I put next to me here so that I could show everybody. This is a lepidolite sphere.
Look at that.
And so lepidolite, I just mentioned it in one of my videos because I had a raw piece. If you're not familiar with it, it's also known as the grandmother stone, which
Mm.
is that's an energy that, boy, I connect with on all levels. And so when I first found out about that, it just felt like I had to get it. And so if that, I wouldn't call that working with crystals, um, but it's an interest of mine, and I'm pretty
Hmm.
fascinated.
Yeah. I think I've talked about crystals with Jonathan on a
Hmm.
Laugh and Learn, and sometimes crystals tell me that they're going home with me,
Hmm. Yes, yes.
and Medium Betsy Palmer said I have a ring
Oh,
out of that.
excellent.
Can you imagine?
That's amazing. I didn't even know they could form, because I guess part of it, it actually has a lot of lithium in it. So you have to be careful if you're somebody who either already takes lithium as a medication, or you're sensitive to it. And so the raw form, that lithium can actually leak into your skin. When it's polished and a ring form, I think that wouldn't be a problem,
Well,
but it'd be
I would
fascinating.
imagine it's a stone in a setting is what I would think,
Oh, that could
and
be. Yeah.
so
That's a good point.
and it's called Ladipolite. Is that what it?
Lepidolite, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it exactly correctly, but lepidolite.
So
Yeah.
okay. So I watched your walkthrough of the Archeo Oracle. Totally resonated with me. I really love it, and it haunted me until I had it in my hands.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and I got that one just simply because of the artist,
Yeah.
the creator. I love his artwork. And Amethyst Ascension said, "I think you are pronouncing it correctly."
Hmm. Thank you.
So yes, it's a cabochon uh,
Mm,
in a setting.
yeah,
Yeah,
that makes more
she
sense.
yeah. So um, okay, so and you have a pendulum,
Hmm.
but um, do you use it much, or is it just a plaything at this point?
It actually came with a set of crystals that I bought that was sort of it was a chakra set, and
Hmm.
I liked the convenience of it because it had a large selection of polished stones, a large selection of raw crystals, and then it had a few of these extra trinkets. So,
Oh,
um,
nice.
one was that I love is it's actually all of the chakra stones, and then I can't remember what. There's another like a dark gray stone, but they're all polished and form a bracelet. So it's a rainbow bracelet that
Oh.
came with it, that was really neat, and the pendulum, and a few extras like that. It was really a very
Hmm.
cool set. It was fun.
That's great. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Um, I still have a deck test drive written down because I think that's a great idea. Because one of the things that I have been thinking about, and Ben and Richie and I were talking about this, the idea of, we do the deck casuals. Well, let's talk more about using the deck and
Yeah.
what it looks like, how it reads, and
Hmm.
what the impression is after using it for a while. So stay tuned. It may be something coming, but I think that's an important thing because my name is Tarot Stash, emphasis on stash. I like to acquire,
Yeah.
and not just tarot, but I acquire other things.
Hmm.
So I want to use more of them. I want to,
Yes.
have that practice with them. So,
That's really one of the reasons why I did that test drive thing in the first place, is that I felt like I could do a flip through, and but there are a lot of flip throughs, and I'm actually, because I'm kind of coming to the game late. There, any pretty much any deck I put out there is probably something a lot of people have gone through. Um, so what could I do with it that might be more meaningful or might add something, my own spin or something? So I just thought, it can't hurt to, just for my own sake, feel how
mhm.
it plays out. So yeah, something I'll continue to play with.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. And everybody should like and subscribe to Brian's channel because that way you'll be cool. And Nancy at Crohn's Intuition is here saying, loving your channel, Brian.
Thanks, Nancy.
So make sure you like and subscribe. It's linked below. Um, and Yeah, I decided that when I was doing my flip throughs, and I want to do more flip throughs. Um, uh, but sometimes I can't. I'm retired, so sometimes I don't want to sit in front of the computer.
Yeah,
Actually, the iPad. I do everything on an iPad.
right.
Um, and I know what I like in, or what I don't come for me. I know what I didn't like in a flip through.
Mm, yeah,
So what I did was I just wanted to see the images and all of the cards. So a lot of times
yeah,
what I would do is I would watch walkthroughs with the sound off because
yeah,
I want to form my own relationship with the deck and
yeah.
not to be influenced. So what I started to do was just flip throughs, just like here's and I have it written down. Show the box, show all the
Mm,
sides of the
right.
box, show the ISBN or whatever, so people can find it, and then
Yeah,
compare it to your standard RWS,
right.
and then flip through. And I had some people who said, please tell us what the cards are.
Mm,
So I was doing that, but not giving any of my thoughts on them.
right. No
So
color
I mean,
commentary or anything.
yeah, well, sometimes I will go, I'm particularly fond of this color scheme
Mm, mm-hmm,
be,
mm-hmm.
because I think it's one of those things we all it's like the journey of the sacred bee. If you when you watch that, this
Yes.
deck has a beautiful color scheme with it, as
Mm-hmm.
does the oracle, and I would expect the same thing from the keeper of the sacred bee. And we all, and our tastes change, they evolve, so it's
Mm,
perfect.
yeah.
So Janet, hi Janet, said, these days after watching a flip through, um, I love watching videos where someone talks about the cards, the artwork, the guidebook, and does a reading with them. If I can find such a video, hmm yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's where I think one of the things that I thought about doing for the deck casual is to actually do a deck interview spread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, have you done any of those? Have you interviewed a deck?
I have not, and I'm intrigued by that concept. It's just not something I've done yet, but I'm very interested in trying it out.
Mhm. It's really interesting because some decks, the one that I use is 6 cards. My friend
Mhm.
Zane has done it, and so there's a lot of them. But it's about what the deck can teach you. How can we best work together?
Yeah.
And I also do an extra thing because I want to find out, is this a public deck, meaning I can use
Yes.
it to read for other people, or a private deck where it's just for me?
Yep.
So do you have public and private decks?
I do. Yeah. And I find the driving factor for that for me is whether or not I feel a deck can be broadly applicable. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so if I feel like there is anything in about it that might be a trigger possibly for somebody, and we can't predict all triggers, but I like to try to account for as many as I think I can anyway, then that'll automatically go in the private stash.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to try to go for something that I feel has, and how does one person judge this? But I like to try and find something that that feels like it has a universal appeal, um, that would be less confrontational. Because
Mm-hmm.
we all need confrontation occasionally, but if somebody's seeking a reading, they're probably doing that because they have, in a lot of cases, they're doing that because they have something that's already causing that feeling in them,
Oh, sure.
and
Yes.
I don't want to add to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where somehow there's like a plinko game in my head that a deck starts out up here and it bounces around and it comes out at the bottom as either acceptable for public readings or
I completely get that reference, the Plinko. I
not.
mean, because
And I wonder if everybody does. I don't know.
I am like going, oh yeah, look it up, people. It's that makes complete sense to me. So, um, Tortoiseshell Moon, and I don't think I have your name. I don't remember your name. Asks, deck purchasing and deck using can be two very different hobbies in my
Yes.
experience. Yes, I'm trying to join them,
Mm,
is what what I would like to do. Um, and Patrice says, I love intelligent commentary of a deck, how you use it, insights, etc. I especially enjoy conversations about a deck that I already have. I learn so much that way, and I just plain enjoy it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Jonathan loves interviewing decks, as does Beth. And how do you ask about the deck's preference, Gerald?
That's a good question.
Um, it's Lisa got it. Um,
Yes.
I do it in. Did you just make a sound?
Me?
Yeah.
I said yes when she
Okay.
got the Plinko reference. Thumbs up and a yes.
Well, because I thought I heard like the plinko noise.
Oh no,
I
I
was
didn't.
like going.
Oh, maybe you did. Maybe there's something at play there.
I'm like going. That is totally awesome.
Wow, yeah. Hmm.
So Jonathan, too. I do it in a couple of ways. One, I will. It's Kathy. Thank you. Um, so I'm making a note.
Yes, I believe I've seen you over on Simon's channel, I believe, Kathy.
Thank you. Um, so I do it in a couple of ways. One, I will, after I have done the spread, the interview, I will ask, I'll usually pick three cards. I will shuffle the cards and will put into three piles. And I will ask, one pile is, are you for public use? Are you for private use? And what is something else to consider? And that can
Hmm.
either turn into a one card, 3 card spread. It can be a 6 card spread or a 9 card spread, depending upon how it reads. Like, and sometimes it's a bit more complicated. Like I just did a deck casual on the Sheridan Douglas,
Hmm.
and this is a public deck, but it's a public deck when I'm in person with someone, because it's not to be used on a live stream when too many people are watching.
Hmm.
So it's a public deck that is like a private conversation. It's something you
I
would
love
go
that.
into the other room to have.
Yeah.
So, um,
Hmm.
but and I'll be honest with you, some decks when you interview them, Brian, some of them they just beat me senseless. Going, you're going to use me when you need to know the truth, and you are, we're not a warm and fuzzy deck.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
like boom,
Right.
and yeah, and so. Do you journal your spreads or anything like that when you have done
I
a spread?
do. Yeah. Um, a lot of times what I'll do, so I kind of I used to try to do paper journals, and it was kind of mixed. I wasn't really sticking with it. And then I was watching Krista on Adventures in Metaphysics,
Mm-hmm.
another channel. She talked about using journaling on an iPad, and there was a specific app that she recommended. I can't remember the name of it now, but I found it to be a really good process, just an excellent way, because you can actually take pictures of the cards, and then store them as stickers in the journal, so then you can just drag those onto your.
Oh,
So that, I mean, it's amazing. It's just, you know what? Let me. I got to pull up the name because
oh, sure,
I think it's
sure.
really good,
And
and I
while you
can
do
pull up
that,
an
I will
example.
say, Kathy to Tortoiseshell Moon said, "Yes,
Yes.
Brian, on Hermit's Cave. That's how I
Ah,
found you."
well, thank you.
And
Yeah.
and yeah, it is an interesting process, Patrice. I enjoy doing it. What I could get a little better at doing um, is documenting on my index cards, because I do old school with my cataloging, and I might want to update that so that when I can actually do something, I can actually go, oh, this deck is Fey based and all of that stuff, so I can do that. So, did you find it?
I did. So the app is called Good Notes, and here's an example of how I was out
Oh,
at a park one day just doing a reading with Oak Ash and Thorn, and Good Notes is all one. It's all one word. That's the app,
mm-hmm.
and the possibilities are endless. I mean, because of the fact that you can create these stickers, you can actually purchase templates on Etsy shops for Good Notes, and it'll give you tarot spread
Oh,
or tarot
wow.
pages and things that are all laid out. So you put your spread in one area, you take your notes on the side, it'll give you prompts and all that sort of thing. But boy, just the ability for me to just hop in there and grab those pictures, then it gives me that visual immediately. So if I go back to the journal later and look at it, it's like a visceral experience. Like I can go through it again.
Wow.
I love it.
I've made note of that too. So,
Awesome.
um, yeah. Calla Lizzie said decks that are not here to make friends. Yes, we all have them.
Yes.
If and people may not have actually done an interview for it, but they know from the experience of using it. It's like,
Mhm.
whoo. And Tangi said, my Alice in Wonderland Disney deck is like that, Gerald.
Hmm.
She only wants to be used when absolutely necessary. Jonathan said he started ending my unboxing video with a tarot interview spread, and Chris from Elemental Cartomancy has done interview spreads at the same time. So, and yeah, Amethyst Ascension loves digital journaling. And hi, Wani. Wani, meet Brian. Blushing Nerd Tarot.
Hello,
Like and
hello.
subscribe. So, Brian, I would love to watch a video on how you use GoodNotes app.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do that. And in the meantime, until I get one made, if you look up Krista's channel, Adventures in Metaphysics, she's the one that introduced me to the app through a video that talked about how she uses it. So
Mm-hmm.
so I would definitely recommend that, but I'd be happy to do one as well. Hi,
Yeah.
Wani.
So, and Lisa Stevens said, downloaded GoodNotes. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
So,
It's amazing.
Yeah, and Beth said that's a good hashtag. Decks that are not here to make friends.
It really is. That would be a great one. So keep that in mind.
And Janet uses Good Notes all the time as well. You can store folders within folders, which helps to keep things. Yeah. So Kiba is here. Hello, Kiba.
Hi, Kiba.
Or Kiba. Kiba, right? A. I can't see.
Yep, it's an A.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I am older than you. I'm assuming I'm older than everyone.
There's a lot of gray going on here. I don't know.
Okay, well, you age prematurely then. You grade prematurely, so. And Wani is loving the hat.
Oh, thank you.
And, okay. So, I'm looking at, and by the way, to answer you, I also take my coffee over ice and with cream.
Ah, excellent.
So
yep.
I used to take sweetener in it.
Mm-hmm.
But about 10 years ago, I stopped drinking diet soda.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was drinking 2 liter bottles of diet soda a day, not good, replaced it with water.
Do you do sparkling water?
I do, because it's a seltzer. It's and so, but it's one of those things that it's like, I had a headache. Because when I stopped doing that, I also stopped drinking caffeine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did that for 6 months, and then I went, no.
Yeah, I've been down that path myself, and I'm mostly off caffeine, but every morning, I actually split. I do blends, so I'll get like maybe a quarter of the coffee beans that I grind for my morning travel mug will be caffeinated, and the rest is decaf. And then anything else I drink throughout the rest of the day is decaf. Otherwise, I'll never sleep.
Yeah, I have that issue. Okay, so Good Notes for me as well. It's wonderful, efficient, great. I prefer to write longhand, but all my journals end up with random notes and doctor's appointments, etc.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, and I do fountain pens, I do composition books, after school specials, after school sales. Where you can get a composition book for a quarter. So, Patrice wanted Krista's channel name again, and I think it's Adventures in Metaphysics.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And Dippity Doo is here. Hello. Oh, all right, Beth. All right, Calla Lizzie. Geez, people calling me out. I love this group.
There you go.
So, having a back procedure. Well, good vibes your direction.
Yes, absolutely.
For success, accuracy, and rapid healing. So, okay, just getting caught up. Okay, so, I want you to know, I am hashtag Brian made me do it. I haven't told you this.
This is excellent.
So yeah. Oh, he's already got it. Yeah, Wani, did you see his fan? You have to see the fan. It's like, dude, totally, kicked it up a notch.
Handmade. This is bocote wood from Central America, sustainably forested. Anyway,
love that.
My wife
love that.
Did the paperwork with some of her origami paper, so this was an effort. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, so hashtag Brian made me do it. I have ordered the Synchronicity Oracle.
Yeah.
And was that your first video?
That was first or second.
Okay.
I can't remember which. I can pull it up here though and take a look.
Thanks,
yeah,
Kathy.
It was early. And
it was either first or second. So
yeah, it was one of those. Yeah.
Okay. And so it was one of those where I was like going, Well, now how interesting is this? I'm a geek for something that is unexpected in a different shape, and it's like, and by the way, that was one where I was watching the video, I pressed pause, I found it online,
Hmm.
I bought it, and have I gone back and watched your video? Finished watching it, but it's not going to arrive. It's coming from Book Depository US,
Oh,
so it'll
yeah.
be here sometime in July, maybe this year. I don't
Yep.
know. So, so, but yeah.
I can't
Um,
wait to hear your thoughts on it. It's interesting.
yeah, because you were the first person I heard about it on. So, hashtag Brian made me do it. So, um, and okay, are there other questions? I've been chatting with okay, and Medium Betsy Palmer is heading out. Everybody stay tuned because Betsy is coming on my channel for a laugh and learn about mediumship in July. So I'm
Excellent.
really looking forward to that. And Calla Lizzie said, I don't know if Brian's fan is going to thwart.
No, the mini one doesn't. But I believe I just got a notification that my thwarping fan has arrived on my front stoop. So thwarps to come.
Do you need to go get it now, or one of the other family members going to get it for you?
That somebody else will get it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and the pin on Brian's hat is
Mm.
from the motel gift shop. It's the Madame Clara.
It is. And I have more than one. The other one is on my tarot to go bag that goes in the car with me. It's the 25-cent
Oh
ask the
yes.
cards,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. So
Yes. Yes. Um, Gosh. Okay. So we've had some laughs here, correct? So
mhm.
I mean, yeah, I love it. It's like, ooh, thwarping soon. And so we'll have to figure out a time, in the future to do a deck casual on
Yes.
that one deck, which is I bought that at you're in Northeast.
Hmm.
Um I'm imagining you have half price books there.
We don't have any nearby, actually.
Okay.
I
So
know
you're
of
familiar
some.
with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
familiar with it.
Um, and it's one of those that I went to a store, um, and they had somebody had been obviously, um, somebody had passed away, and family members brought these decks, and
Mm.
they were locked behind the glass
Oh
doors.
wow.
And
Oh,
I'm like going, I need to see that. And
get me a
they,
key.
yeah, and get me somebody. And the person actually was standing next to me until I made a decision, and then I had to hand the deck to them
Wow.
before before they would lock everything up because
Wow.
and all that stuff. But it's really beautiful and it's numbered and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so Adventures in Metaphysics, good notes. People need to like and subscribe to Blushing Nerd Tarot. Do you have anything else you want to share before I ask you what's coming next on your channel?
Um. No, I don't know if I do. Um. The I mean, really, if we move to what's coming next on the channel, I don't know. We've had some good ideas come up during this, so yeah. So I'll probably ask you for a copy of your notes because I didn't write anything down, and and
No worries. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. I'll be doing so. Lately, I've been putting out, almost a video a day, and I know that won't continue into perpetuity, but I do like putting out. I like to sit down for a little bit and then do a video if I can in a day. So I do like to
Hmm.
set that time aside. Um, but I don't know. I'll be doing more deck test drives as things arrive and stuff comes into circulation for me, and
Mm-hmm.
trying new things out.
Yeah. And thank you, Janet. Janet has subscribed and
Thank you.
shall take a look soon at your channel, Blushing Nerd Tarot. And so I would say, my advice for you as a new person, purchase responsibly and know your limits, because you really only need one deck.
That's right. Absolutely.
But who am I to say don't buy a deck? Because if it stirs you and you are looking forward to it, then get it. If it makes you happy, and Janet asked, is your deck purchasing slowing down yet?
If that's for me, no, it's not. It probably won't. And that's okay. I'm in a place to do that. I recognize that that's a privilege, and I'm very grateful. But I am on the ramp up side of things at this point, and just enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and like I said, there's absolutely no judgment, and only you know what works for you. And
Exactly.
that's, I think, we just need to go into it and do that. So I know, when I was doing flip throughs, what I would end up doing was I would end up filming 2 or 3 of them at one time, and then I'm not an editor. I don't like to edit. So I'm just
Same.
like going, it's like, okay. I mean, there's one of them where I was like going, I got into it, and then I got tongue tied, and I went blah, 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 and then just went on. It's like,
Yep.
there you go.
That sounds like an approach I can live with, because that's at the most that there have been a couple of times where I'll bump the camera really bad or something like that, and so I'll have to cut out a few seconds. But otherwise, my idea is I want to sit down, get the words out of my face, and then I'll tack my intro and my ending on, and that's it. I just want to. It takes long enough just for things to upload. I don't want to have to sit and
Yes,
fiddle.
yes. And it's one of those things that I didn't even do, intro or an outro. And the little things that I do for my community tabs when I'm showing up on somebody else's channel, they're a minute long or less than a minute long, and they take about 3 hours to make, depending upon how I do it. And it's one of those things, Brian, I think, and you now know this as a content creator, what goes into making this content. And it's like, okay. So
but I don't know, I really dig the art of it, and and that's one of the things that also made me feel like I was heading down the right path, is that stuff started clicking, like the banner and the logo and all that kind of stuff just sort of started to fall into place. So I felt like it felt natural. Didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was having to force anything, and so it's just been enjoyable.
That's beautiful. Janet says, I watch Lisa when she calls her decks. I like her process for choosing which deck she'll keep or not. This process makes me less impulsive when I buy more decks.
Yeah, that's probably Lisa Pepez, I imagine, is who you're referring to there. And I think that's I think she's doing a service to the community with that process. I've heard others say the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, and I like that, the approach. It's like, okay, what else do I have? I like to call that, I shop my collection. Or I shop, I think that's fun. And I probably have a sassy deck. I'll have to think about that and figure that out. Tomorrow on my channel, I have Kelly from Dozen Cats for Me coming on for a casual. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, I don't exactly know what to call this, Brian, but I am hosting, it's sort of a deck casual with Mark Astro Tarot and Ben from Beneficial Tarot. And we are using I got harassed because I did not have a copy of the Morgan Greer.
I bought the
It's
same one recently.
okay. And so, but we're using the Morgan Greer. We're talking about that, but we're also looking at the direction. So it's directional cards in the Morgan Greer.
Okay.
So because of how those directional cards interact.
So the
And
way the characters are facing, almost like you would do with Marseille.
yes,
That's interesting. Can't wait for that.
yes, yeah. And that was an idea. Mark and Ben were talking about that, and it's like, ooh, this is interesting. So
Yeah.
And it's called Shop My Stash. Yes. With
There you go.
add an E onto that.
There you
and
go.
and actually, I've had people say, Gerald, are you going to show us your collection? And I'm like, no. And by the way, do you notice, Brian, I did not ask you how many decks you have?
I did
Because I
notice.
hate that question.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
it's none of my business.
Well, and it doesn't really matter because it's so relative. Like the amount of decks that somebody has could be a lot, regardless of what the number is, or it could be a little, regardless, because it's all about your own perspective. It makes no difference.
Yes, that's exactly right. And then on Friday, Richie is hosting Ben and me to talk about Lenormand decks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any last minute words for people, Brian? While they remember to like and subscribe to your channel.
Nothing more than just a big thank you to everyone. It's been what a whirlwind. I mean, I've only had a channel now for 14 days, if that. I don't even know if it's that long. 12 days maybe. And here we are. I'm live on a channel that I've watched and admired. So Gerald's been very generous to bring me on and inspired me to create content in the first place, and everybody's been just amazing. So just a big thank you. That's really all I have.
You're welcome. That means a lot. I'm glad you feel comfortable and that you've trusted me to have you join me. I mean, because it can be pretty scary, and to show your face. It's his first live, people.
First live.
Boom.
Oh,
yeah.
Caught me off guard there. I require your fan for my thwarp for now.
Well, not after this.
That's right.
Because you got one. And did you get one like this?
Where did you get one with tarot cards on it? Because I didn't. Mine fits my color scheme.
Etsy, Enlighten.
Okay, I'm going to Etsy, but yeah, mine is basically it's a space theme sort of that has the right color scheme to fit the purple and pinks and all that kind of stuff. So that's the one I went with. Tangi will like it, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Patrice said, Brian, you're a natural.
Thanks, Patrice.
So, hang out here for a minute. Everybody, thank you very much. Yes, and we will see you all again soon. So thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.